Do you enjoy the many beautiful waterways that surround us in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and the animals that inhabit them? Did you know that they are damaged every day by trash and road runoff? Did you know about 175 tons is collected out of the water annually in Virginia Beach watersheds? This trash can introduce chemicals in the water and can be mistaken for food by wildlife, causing death when ingested. This trash can also introduce chemicals into our own bodies when we eat seafood that has been contaminated by plastics and stuff like that. I've lived in this area my entire life and guided kayak tours for nearly a decade, so I've seen firsthand the tragic issues that animals and people face from trash and chemicals entering the water. I think people should stop littering and become active in organizations to help keep the bay clean for future generations and help people organize to keep it clean and prestige. The main issue the bay faces today is pollution. Pollution from people throwing trash and not managing storm drains, but it's very easy to alleviate this stress for three different ways. One is not littering, two is managing what runs down the storm drains, and three is taking a more active approach and helping get involved with organizations like the Chesapeake Bay Foundation and Lynnhaven River Now, or donating to these organizations. Now I'd like to tell you about these in greater details. The main issues, as I've said before, is trash in the water. It kills animals. Many animals like sea turtles mistake plastic bags and other small plastics as jellyfish, fish eggs, and other food, and this in turn kills them or makes them sick when they eat it. The second main issue is runoff from streets and houses, which releases chemicals into the water and damages the ecosystems. Many people think that throwing trash on the ground illegally or dumping chemicals is harmless and will go away with time, but this is not the case. The plastics and trash actually break down and contaminate the water further, and the chemicals can diffuse in the water, so they don't go away, they just get deeper into the ecosystem. The main thing people can do to alleviate these problems is just to stop littering. This is one of the simplest ways, and it's if you don't have time to active and be volunteer, you're still going to help out just by not throwing it on the ground. If everybody did this and was conscious about it, the bay would remain clean and the only trash would go in as accidental. I would say think twice before throwing trash on the ground. There's always a trash can around. Only about 5% of people that live here locally still throw trash always on the ground. And the city has made sure that they put trash cans everywhere, so this really shouldn't be an issue. There's always reciprocals around to throw your trash in. And then a lot of people think that if it's not near the bay, it won't go in, but it still can enter the bay through wind and flowing into local bodies of water and entering it, and through storm runoff and drains, which goes into my next point. We need to manage our street runoff better, and there's very easy ways to do this. These things that go down the storm drains that affect the bay is chemicals from lawn care, chemicals from washing your car, pressure washing your house, and then the main one is pet feces. You can solve this like when washing your car at home. You can either use green chemicals or cleaners, or you can go to a car wash that recycles the water and uses green chemicals, so it's not going to go down into the bay. Or don't use bleach when you're pressure washing your house. Use a safer alternative. Lawn care is a big issue because it introduces fertilizers into the water, which actually cause algae blooms and deplete oxygen in the ecosystem. So this is another thing you should do, is always use natural lawn care. And then always pick up your pet feces, because this actually affects humans a lot as well. Because when a lot of pet feces goes into the water, it releases bacteria into it, and this creates what's called a red tide, and it makes the water really gross, and it can get people sick, especially if they're swimming in the summertime. Reducing the amount of trash and litter and chemicals in the water is great, but you can also take a more active approach and can volunteer or donate with these organizations that go out and clean it and manage this water. So the Chesapeake Bay Foundation and Lynnhaven River Now are two of the biggest organizations. I've volunteered with both of them in my life. One thing you can do is the first of every June is National Clean the Bay Day, and this is only once a year, so it's really easy to do, and it's a fun way to get out. Last year, over 3,500 people rallied to clean the bay, and an estimated 45,000 pounds of trash was taken out in one day, which is amazing. If you'd like to get involved with the Lynnhaven River Now, this is one that does something monthly, so you can do it a little bit more frequently. And they go out in kayaks and clean trash, and it's really fun. I've done that one since I was little as well. And if you don't have time, it's always very easy to donate to these causes and these organizations simply by going on the Chesapeake Bay Foundation website or Lynnhaven River Now, and any little bit counts. It's never too much or too little. So as you can see, pollution by people is one of the main things that can affect the bay, but the steps to alleviate this are actually quite simple. So all local people should become involved in keeping the bay clean and supporting the people trying to do so, instead of adding to the pollution. The main things we can do, once again, as local people, is stop littering and manage the amount of chemicals and trash that runs down the storm drains. If we want to be proactive, we can get involved in cleanups, and we can donate if we don't have time. So there's no reason you shouldn't be involved in keeping this area clean for future generations. Thank you for listening to my speech. Hope you all have a wonderful day.